Ow! Greetings, YouTube. It's DecKrash, better known as Brandon again, and I'm back giving you an update on Terra Nova. It is still not 100% certain, but there is good news on the horizon for those of you who are fans of the show. And this comes straight from Terra Nova TV, the fan site that I had mentioned in my last Terra Nova video. Says that Terra Nova renewal, Season 2 prospects looking good. And to me, that's great. I was, to be completely honest, kind of worried. I knew that there were a lot of people who did not like the series, and as I'd said before, Fox has had a history of canceling shows that really were actually quite good. So I'm glad to see that this is actually looking up. Let me read a few little tidbits from the site. It says, let me see. It says the TCA, Television Critics Association, met for its bi-yearly roundup over the weekend, and according to Ken Riley, Fox's chief exec, I do feel fortunate that we have some high-class problems in having to decide whether to keep or cancel shows such as Glee, House, and Terra Nova. Terra Nova was an exciting bet to take, and I think that it has proven it was worthwhile. That's great. You got Fox's chief exec actually giving the show a thumbs up. Let me see. But it also, the article does talk about some of the issues that the show had, one being the writing. I personally admit that there were a lot of things that could have been done to make the show better. I really saw, like it seems for the execs, I saw a lot of potential in the show, but a lot of things were not used to the full extent. Like I said, you could have shown more dinosaurs, just made it a bit more streamlined with the story, because you're in, the Cretaceous period. I know that, like I said, I know they were trying to not dump it on everyone that you are in the dinosaur times. So they were trying to make the dinosaurs more wallpaper than actually something that has to do chiefly with the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs have all been relegated mostly to side stories and just with little interesting tidbits, which is good, but I think they should do a little bit more. Show, dinosaurs have been domesticated, something like that. Anyway, let me go ahead and read on. See if I can find something really good here. And by the way, I am going to have this article down the doobly-doo. Now, it does say that, it said that referring to its viewership, he commented that there was a definite audience that stuck with it, especially families that enjoy watching it together. The author's family is included in that group, Riley continued. There's a show there to bring back, and there's an audience for it to service. It said that Terra Nova came in on top of the December 19 to 25th 2011 DVR rankings in 18 to 49 age demographic, gaining a 0.9 ratings point jump in that age range, which is key. The article does also talk about how if they bring it back, they'll probably be putting in some new writers. So that could be a good thing if they get good writers. Yeah, that could also be a bad thing, because I've known shows that started out with really good, strong writing and was turned over to other writers that just made it into utter crap. One that comes to mind is Sliders. I don't know if any of you ever saw that old show, but the show started out great, really strong, great premise, did a lot of really cool new things. But as it entered its third season, I think that what happened was they brought in some fresh writers that basically turned it into crappy sci-fi knockoff schlock. Everything that they did was a knockoff of the shows that were popular at the time. Like there was one that was just a total ripoff of The Island of Dr. Moreau. Another TV series they did that with, much to its detriment, was Sequest. It was another one that if you grew up in the late 80s, early to mid 90s, that was a show that came on NBC. The first season was fantastic, set up a great premise, but then they brought in new writers in the second season, and it was reduced to once again crappy sci-fi it was really crappy pulp sci-fi schlock. Instead of knockoffs of everything, it was all pulpy sci-fi. They resorted to aliens and traveling through time and all this crazy stuff. They just went haywire with it. Then when they finally got into the third season, most of the original cast, especially Roy Scheider, who was one of the driving points of the show, didn't want to stay on. Even when they brought in Michael Ironside, who, you know, he's one of my favorite actors, even he couldn't save that show. Even though they brought it back to its roots and toned down on all the other garbage. Once again, new writers brought in, the story collapses. Now, with Terra Nova, I'm hoping that's not going to happen because Terra Nova's writing was good, but it wasn't great. And so, this might be a good thing, bringing in new writers who will be able to take the story to the next level. I'd love to see what they can do, especially with how the season finale ended. That was just incredible, you know. So, it's not 100% go, but read the article. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to read the whole thing, you know, on YouTube. I'm going to provide a link down in the doobly-doo. Those of you who are interested, go ahead and take a look at it. It is well worth reading, and it really is a good sign, I think. And so, here's hoping we do get a second season of Terra Nova. And for all of you guys, I kind of stand with you on that. I'm sincerely hoping that Terra Nova gets a second season, and we can see more adventures with Jim and his family, and with Commander Taylor, and to see, you know, what happened to the mercenaries and to the Sixers. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sincerely hoping that it gets a second season. Once again, remember my last video. You can go to Terra Nova TV. They actually have an article showing how you can write to the Fox executives, showing your support for the show, and telling them, you know, you like the show and want a second season. That may help let your voice be heard. So until then, everyone, this is DecKrash, better known as Brandon, and of course, comment. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, please, you know, let me know down there. As always, keep it civil. So once again, DecKrash, better known as Brandon. Everybody, stay lucky and stay blessed.